webcam not working, we'll just keep it with this cam. Recently I started to credit the Mahayana world, reflecting back on my very first training when I was very, very young, and how the Mahayana school is extremely patient and did not give up on me when I was just lost. So it's funny now I sit on this other side, and I see certain students on the other side, and sometimes they're just a little lost. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. Just in that moment, you can see that they're just zoned out. And that was me. But I knew I was zoning out. And so back in the day, we had these little camcorders, right? They had that little disc inside of it. And even before that, there was cassettes. And I knew that Venerable Tong, when he was speaking, that he was speaking facts, and I should really pay attention, but I just didn't have the mental capacity to do that. So I recorded him, and then later on went back to it. Oh, Julius, since you're so agile this morning, can you grab me my phones? I need to do Instagram. And I need to push back my 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock. This morning I have an Ohio family coming to see me. They've seen me last year, and they so happens to be in Miami, so they're actually on their way up to see me around 1 o'clock. So I'm trying to crunch in time and doing logistics in my head as all of this is unfolding today. So y'all just bear with me because it's multiple AIs working right now in my head. Okay, wonderful. Let's turn to page 2 for a morning chant. Ime hidi pato padisa kare hibutan thamang sangkang abhipuachaya mimata pita dinang gunawan tan nai chak mai hai chatir haratang athaya hitaya sukhaya Uche mi buatan kusume nanena Buanye na me te na cha hon tu mo kang Upang milaya tiha idang me Kayo tathaya tiwina safawan Uche mi dhammang kusume nanena Buanye na me te na cha hon tu mo kang Upang milaya tiyatha idang me Kayo tathaya tiwina safawan Uje misangkang kusume namena Buanye namete na chahon tumokang ปุพังมิลายาติยถาอิดังเมกายโยตถายาติวินาสภาวันนะโมพุทธายะนะโมธัมมายะนะโมสังฆายะสาเกกาเมจารุเปกิริสิกรตเตจันตาลิเกวิมาเนดิเปราเตจากาเมตารุวนกะหะเนเกหาวันทงหิเคเตปุมมาจายังตุเดวะจาลตลวิสเมยักทะคามทะปนากาเตทังตาสังติเกยังมุนิการวัจนะสาวะโหเมสุนันตุธรรมะสวนกาโลอายัมปดันตาธรรมะสวนกาโลอายัมปดันตาธรรมะสวนกาโลอายัมปดันตานะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยามปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยามปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยามปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยามปิสังฆังสรณังกัจจามิตติยามิพุทธังสรณังกัจจามิตติยามิธัมมังสรณังกัจจามิตติยามิสังฆังสรณังกัจจามิโยสันนิเสนโนวรโพธิมุตเลมารังสเสนังมหติงวิเจโยสัมโบธิมากาจิอัญญาตัญญาโนโลกุตโมตังพนามามิพุทธังเยจะพุทธาอติตาจะเยจะพุทธาอนาคตาปัจจุปันนาจะเยพุทธาอหังวันดามิสัพพะเอปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธเวชาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตรโรปุริสธัมมสารติสัทธาเดวมนุษย์สานังบุตโธภะคะวะตินาทิเมสรณังอัญญังบุตโธเมสรณังวรังเอเตนะสัจวะเจนะโหตุเมจยมังกลังอุตตมังเกนะวันเดหังธรรมังสวุดิโดธรรมังปุถเทโยกะลิโตโดโสบุตโธขมาตุตังมะมังอัตถังกิกริยปโทจนานังโมคาภเวสายอุจูจมาโกธัมโมยังสังติกโรพนิโตนิยานิโกตังพนามามิธัมมังเยจะธัมมาอติตาจะเยจะธัมมาอนาคตานาสุปันนาจะเยธัมมาอานุวันดามิสัพพะดังสวัสกาโตภะคะวตาธัมโมสันเดธิโกอากาลิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปันหิโกปัจจตังเวดิตาโพวิญโยหิตินาทิเมสรณังอัญญังธัมโมเมสรณังวรังเอเตนะสัจจวัยเจนะโหตุเมจยมังกลังอุตตมังเกนะวันเดหังธัมมังจดุวิทังวรังธัมเมโยกะลิโตโดโสธัมโมขมาตุตังมะมังสังโฆวิสุทโธวรดักขิเนโยสังตินทริโยสัพพะมะลักขันโนกุเนหิเกกุเนหิเนเกหิสมิทธิปัตโตอนาสโบตังพนามามิสังฆังเยจะสังฆาอติตาจะเยจะสังฆาอนาคตาปัจจุปันนาจะเยสังฆาอหังวันดามิสัพพะดาสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาญาปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆ Sami Chipatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Ata Purisa Puhikala Esafakavato Sawaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkineyo Anjarikaraniyo Anuttarang Punyakyetang Lokasa Tinatime Saranang Anyang Me saranang warang ete na sai chawai che na hotu me jayamangalang uttamang ke na wande hang sang hang jaduwito tamang sang he yo kalito do so sang ho kama tutang mamang. Last page. Oh, stop. Wahandami chetiyang sa pam sa padane supatit titang sa ri tikatha tumahat bochem buddhang sa kapang sada sape satha awera hontu sukita hontu ni dukkha hontu apya pacha hontu anika hontu dihayika hontu aveka hontu sapati hisamidjan tasavita anang pariharantu dukkha pata Jane dukkha payapatha jane paya sokha patha jane sokha honta sape pipani no yang kinchi kusalakam mangkata bangkiri yang bamakaye na wacha manasa tidase sukatang katang ye sata sainino atiye jasata asainino katang bunya falang maya ye jatat jananan tide wakan tuani we na yung sa pelokam hiye sata jiwanta hare he tuka menunyang hojanang sape lapan tumamante sati aga sata japumata dewa naga mahindika bonyang no anumoda tujirang rakan tusasanang aga sata japumata dewa naga mahindika bonyang no anumoda tujirang rakan turatake Agasatha Japumata Dewa Naga Mahindika Punyang no Anumodan Tuchirang Rakan Tunyata Yo Satha Japumata Dewa Naga Mahindika Punyang no Anumodan Tuchirang Rakan Tunyata Yo Agasatha Japumata Dewa Naga Mahindika Punyang no Anumodan Tuchirang Rakan Tupanino Agasatha Japumata Dewa Naga Mahindika Punyang no anumodan tuchirang chuno sada. Last page. Page 260. Idang watamedang dagaswat kaya wahang ho hotu. Buddho hang bodhayi sami mutho hang mochaye pareti no hang tarayi sami samsaro kamaham paya. I'd like to welcome everyone across the world, in the east side of the world, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, Australia. Good morning to everyone in the west side of the world in the United States. Today's Sunday session, and welcoming two new gals who have been to Thailand. One of them have been to Thailand, followed by her cousin. And we welcome them as they have prior knowledge of the Dhamma, prior knowledge of the Theravada, and even asked me what sect, SECT, where I belong to. And yes, we try our best to follow the Thai forest traditions, even though we're urban Buddhist monks in a very noisy city that is engaged in programs that is targeted to mitigate teen suicide. With the latest development this month of May, that our students have graduated high school and was rehabilitated and back as working adults, productive member of society, keeping the precept, not violating the precept. So I don't think I need the microphone at this point. Today's Dhamma talk, will be about continuous Dhamma education. as the word education includes training. Now, I'm pretty sure the Ohio case will come here, and the Ohio case will subsequently look at this live video that is broadcasted across YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. In the Ohio case, which we will not name any names, comes back in a frantic, whereas the children was in distress. And when they saw me for 1 week, I gave instructions. And because of those instructions was not heeded mindfully, this is where we are. We're in a frantic mode. Now, had I not exist or ceased to exist, they wouldn't know where to turn, because all other available therapists in Ohio have exhausted all options, modalities of treatment for the children. So therefore, when my phone rings, there's a problem. And when certain people fly down here to see me, we have a different kind of problem. And people run into this problem because of lack of continuous education and training in dhamma. No different than lawyers and doctors having to do CLEs and CMEs, continuous medical education, continuous legal education. Venerable Jayasaro of Thailand, who resides in Thailand in solitude, one of many prolific, His Holiness, speaks about how Buddhism, the teachings, is the most comprehensive and effective educational system the world has ever seen. But yet so many overlook that educational system, the details in the system, the systems of review, the systematic approach, and the systematic approach of practice and instruction, specific instructions given. When a Buddhist monk gives you specific instructions, you should follow them, like a judge giving a specific instructions to the jury, so they don't get themselves into trouble and they don't make unwise decisions that they have to live with for the rest and remaining balance of their natural living life. If you were ever to call the jury duty, you are called to come there and participate in your civic duties, in the listening to a case, in deciding on a case. And the judge says, go home, don't turn on the news, because this is a prolific case. If you listen to the news, your mind will be tainted. You will be biased, thus leading to a biased conclusion in this case. Your verdict will matter. Can you live with yourself because you did not heed the advice of a judge, an elected or appointed official, and you made the wrong choice? And later on, when you review such case in details, because I've worked in the courtroom for 18 years, can you live with yourself knowing that you sent an innocent man to prison? This morning, we have an entire family coming down because they did not heed the advice of the wise. They did not heed the advice of the office of the wise, the office of the venerables. Did not take that seriously. So I'm still alive, haven't vanished yet. One thing I like about Ajahn Brahm is that at the conclusion of our talk, he's like, Ajahn Brahm, who's that? He talks about the art of vanishing as consistent with all Theravadan monks, the practice of the non-self. No me, no mine, no I. So they're in for awakening. They're going to get some Ajahn Brahm treatment when they get here, because the emphasis of such is so important that I have decided to take that as an example and expand on it and expound on it. That circuit will be moving soon. You guys are aware? Isn't that sad? All the good guys tend to just go first. We don't know where they go, but they just go, right? All the good guys bring us water when we're sit and comfortable. They dedicate their body, speech, and mind for the benefit of humanity. And if you all are dedicated and committed to coming here, then I will continue to come here. Because technically, my meeting with Christina was to wrap up Sunday sessions, because I've been doing this for a very long time. Now I'm undertaking a training of a novice monk who I'm trying to replicate just like me. AI trying to replicate another AI to be just like me. I'm pretty sure you want more John Brahms in the world. And I'm pretty sure all of the monks under his guidance, care, supervision is getting there, but there will never be an Ajahn Brahm ever again if he was to actually vanish or cease to exist. So, but however, he left us a wealth of information, thousands of teachings to follow. And I had to start that process because I have other agendas in my life. So it's wise to channel, but I've already come up with plan B. So, but it's ironic every time when I want to retire, something good happens as I want to retire. Now we have Wolf that listens to my live streams at the airsoft place, and Wolf and I have a secret code. So when I say I'm going back to the sport or I'm participating in the sport, we all know what sport that is. So I've retired about 7 times in my life. I got something about 7 and 8 times in my life in the sport of airsoft. And it was always the people that kept me in the sport. It's no different than the followers that kept me on my path. So if need be, Novice Lee will take on the burden of Sunday sessions and service, which Christina lets me use the space for free. Charges zero, nothing to me. However, at the end of the month, I always gather up the donations and give it to her because that's the right thing to do. We would never in Theravada take advantage of that. Even if people said it was free, it is not in Vietnamese culture to ever do that. To ever say, yeah, sure, I will teach here for free and use these wonderful lights and AC and fans that's turning left to right here. It's just not me. I feel like I owe something. And so therefore the burden will be placed on novice's shoulder. It will no longer be me. I just sit back and have my hot chocolate in that chair over there. And obviously we'll save up $50 every Sunday. That's $200 a month for Christina to keep this door open. You will be charged with a sole and specific duty and responsibility and obligation to select a teaching in the Vinaya. And you will need to expand on it. You will need to expand on the Four Noble Truths and its details. In a way, a 10th grader can understand, and in a way, a 10th grader can reteach it to a 9th grader. You are charged with that specific task from the Office of the Venerables and the Office of His Eminence. So then it keeps it going because then his Sundays won't be so lazy, nor will he ever get a chance to be lazy. And then the people get to come in here and be like, ooh, what does the novice have to say? And how is he being trained? And how does this reflect on the teachers? Have you all familiar with the Four Noble Truths? Please enlighten us. What do you know about the Four Noble Truths so that we know exactly where you are at your understanding? Because it's so deep about the Four Noble Truths. Matter of fact, I'm going back to one of my resources, but please enlighten us.
I know they exist.
Any details you can give us about the Four Noble Truths and the application of that into your life?
Is this a test?
Minor.
Did it pass?
All right, it's okay. That's why the Four Noble Truths is meditated on, should be weekly for all lay people. And hopefully for monks, because every time when we look at this, it reminds us of the Four Noble Truths. Matter of fact, we will let Novice Lee talk about the Four Noble Truths because he reviewed it during his work of carpentry. So obviously, if you don't mind, go ahead to your memory.
So the four noble truths are that the first noble truth is that there is suffering, life is suffering. That being, as soon as anybody is brought into the world, is born, as soon as you have a heartbeat, suffering begins. If you're alive, there's suffering. Suffering does not just mean physical suffering, it could be mental suffering, it could be suffering such as I wanted to go to Sunday service, but Venom Bugito vanished. And now that created suffering. Could be I wanted to go to Miami, but I got a flat tire, so I can't get there anymore. That's suffering. Some different examples. The second noble truth is that wants and needs affect and lead into suffering and cause suffering, which is congruent with the first noble truth. So the first noble truth leads to the second noble truth, the second noble truth leads back to the first in a circle. When you have wants and desires and needs, like I was saying a little before, that creates suffering as well. Like I want to go to Colorado, but I don't have the money to. And when you attach onto something, a want like that, to the point where it causes you peace and it causes you sleep, that's suffering. Things such as getting a flat tire when you didn't want a flat tire is suffering. Physical suffering, aches and pains, and then out as well, the multitude of different types of mental suffering as well. The third noble truth, if I can recall correctly, is that there is an end to suffering. There is a way out, which, if I remember correctly, it is that there's a way out, and the way out is to identify these and this suffering and be mindful of it and trying to find a middle way. And the fourth noble truth, actually no, excuse me, the fourth noble truth is that there is an end to suffering. I need to review a little bit on the third noble truth.
It's nirvana.
Yes.
So to make it fun, the first noble truth is life sucks. Number two, life sucks because you want stuff. Number three, if you don't want life to suck, stop wanting stuff. Number four, the path to liberation is by following the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay. So, you all could barely see it. It's really small. You don't have to squint your eyes. That's why you have me. This cord should be longer. Oh, we do have a longer cord back there. Yeah. Can you grab that cord for me? Actually, no, I'm too lazy. Let me just give you all some examples. Okay, it's all right. This is where you all hone in on your deep listening skills. Oh, the other thing is, and I'm going to press a little bit more on deep listening skills. Learn to use this art of deep listening skills. Learn to listen fast and quick and slow to speak in life. And pretend when you all speak, I'm the student. One thing about listening to a Ajahn Brahmas or any other Buddhist monks, seasoned Buddhist monks, is that they speak on there and you have to really pay close attention to what the message is and the examples given. One thing I run into, I think we all run into that every single day. The encounters of humans out there is that they just, are you listening? Went to the DMV, and Officer Connie, who now went to the Department of Corrections, and the DMV, right? You're supposed to get an appointment before you go in there, and she's giving instructions on how to get online for the appointment, and people are interrupting her. Like, they come up to her. It's not even her job to answer these questions. And of course, she gets about 10,000 questions a week. Imagine that. We're all tan, so you can't miss them as a security guard. And as she's explaining to them, she's like an AI. Just explain. Every human's the same questions. And as she's explaining to them, they're interrupting her. And you can tell she's very nice. You can tell when she switched into that mode. Are you listening? And everything changes. And then I was just like, ooh, ooh. Let us not ever get to that point in life. Those who fight,
Don't listen.
those who listen.
Don't fight.
So therefore, in life, you can avoid a lot of headache, a lot of heartaches, and just pay attention to all of the prolific speakers out there. Just pay attention to things. Matter of fact, all of you are young. Ever wonder why certain adults take a long time to respond to you? You're really smart. You jump the gun. You know the answer before they say it, but you're looking at the adult and you're like, Tom, Harry, Tom, Dick, and Harry, hello, Karen. Because they're like processing, right? They don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure they did that because they did say the wrong thing in the past. So they're like, okay, maybe I should think about what I'm about to answer to Susan here. So there were many things that I skipped along the way of teaching on Sundays, and I went too quick and too fast. Of course, you all can see, quick and fast. But these are skillful things that need to be reminded of deep listening skills. Because sometimes I don't know what's happening on the other side of the seat. Some people can deal with breakups, depression, anxiety. Who knows? You know what I mean? This color should be red, and our red should be like bright stop sign red. Because it doesn't mean Valentine's Day. It means to stop. When you see these colors, it means to stop. And that means stop everything in your life. The most important things are the words that's coming out of the monk's mouth, the instructions that's being given, the what and the how. Two things has to happen during dhamma talks, describing the what and the how. Okay, which is not a lot of people do, especially your boss at work. They just say the what, but not the how. I want more sales. How? So this is how detailed you have to be in the Four Noble Truths. And not necessarily just say birth, old age, disease, decay. You have to also include, of which we forget, all teachers forget. Okay, that's why I'm opening this up and staring at it after 8 years of being a monk and 22 years of study and practice. What now is the noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering, decay is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are suffering. Not to get what one desires is suffering. In short, the 5 groups of existence are suffering. So when you write it down, make sure you write down, today, dear journal, today I learned about the 4 noble truths. The first one is, and it is categorized as the 5 groups of existence are, and you write that paragraph down. And you write it down about 10 times. 10 times. We're back to elementary level. It has to be, or else you'll never get it. You'll never get the point. Listening to us, too convenient. Too convenient. And Allegra, your cousin's name is Melina. Beautiful names. And Beautiful gals. You were doing your comparison and contrast on spirituality, right? Like different traditions and culture and Kundalini, Hindu and Vishnu and Shiva and Buddha. What have you concluded so far?
Included.
Yeah, just based on your preliminary contrast and comparison about who's who and what do they do and what does it mean to you and what's effective, or what looks like it could be effective.
As far as like effectivity of different traditions.
Yeah, like what the hell is spirituality? What does it mean for me? What and which one am I going to choose for me?
I think it's an interesting question. I don't think I can choose in a way. I think that every person has their own path, and some traditions are better fit for each paths. But I don't think I can choose a mold to fit my spirituality into. If that makes sense.
How many months or years have you researched into spirituality?
Since I was in high school, so like 6 years, on and off, really, just kind of when I get interested.
So when I ask you what is spirituality, how would you define it?
The understanding of self of the universe.
Ding. Very good. Very good. Ding. The understanding of oneself, understanding oneself, and to trust oneself in the decision-making process in life. We trust other people, but we don't trust ourselves. We know about other people, but we don't know about ourselves. Matter of fact, AI knows about me. I think I said that multiple times, right? Like who's Venerable Jidao and AI Chat GPT is like, he has 1.3 million followers on TikTok, and his program is catering to student suicide, right? That's praise. And wait for the blame part. It's coming. It's learning. And it has the power to discredit any of us teachers. The Dalai Lama, just look at what happened to the Dalai Lama. Pretty soon there'll be deep fakes. Hell, pretty soon there'll be deep fakes about me. Or like a picture of me or a face of me and just talking really weird. Scary. All right. So why did I just stop what I was reading here and ask her about spirituality? Because that is a question you should ask along the path of spirituality, which is, who am I? And hopefully you render the conclusion that the Theravadan order, the root, the source, just for fun, is very on point. On point spiritually, on point clinically, and on point with no nonsense. We teach you what is it about you that you need to know, how to navigate about it to age gracefully, and living a good life. So the first noble truth is always rough, right? Because nobody wants to hear decay and death and sorrow and lamentation and grief and despair. It is just that the Buddha want you to know that these things exist and wait for them to exist, because they are going to exist and they're going to arise. And they come and they go. They don't just stay there forever. Depression, they come and they go. And then you have sporadic moments in a day where you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, what happened about that past again? Damn it, that one guy. Shit. And then you're spinning out, right? Spinning out. So everything is subject to impermanence. It doesn't last forever. Always remind yourself that. And then we teach you the how to kind of, well, sometimes you have to sit with it for a good minute. Sometimes you have to sit with the depression, sit with the anxiety, and question, why is this here and why is it here now? The more you meditate, the less power it has over you. Because in meditation, we just simply drop negative acquired emotions, drop negative bad habits. If we don't do something about it, it tends to snowball effect. Depression is recycling of the past. Anxiety is apprehension of the future. But both are necessary for your survival. It has to be there. it can't not be there, right? Because if depression wasn't there or doesn't exist or doesn't egg on the way that it has been, you would make so many mistakes over and over again. Yeah, you would definitely not be good. It is there to ensure your survival. It is the awareness of Buddhism that lets you know when it is unfolding, the EKG of it when it is coming, the intensity of it as it is arising, how long it's staying, it's kind of camping out a little bit, and how to enjoy it in the moment as it is happening. Can you enjoy moments of depression? Sure. You're the one who entertained the thought, nobody else. It's like, yeah, I broke up with that one girl. What had done happened? And if I'm telling you to sit with it, because the Buddha teaches you how to sit with the pain, go through the pain, not away from it. Don't run away from it. And sit there and entertain and be like, what did she do again? And how did I treat her? What did she do right? And what did she do wrong? And you can choose in that moment to focus on what was so happy and joyful in the moment and not necessarily the arguments. You entertain it. Okay? So so those are the 5 groups of existence, and obviously. Then we go under now, what is birth? And it's like, what comes to mind when we think of birth? A baby popping out of somewhere. Popping out of somewhere. Think of a whale, think of an elephant, think of a giraffe. Okay. This is the academic definition of birth. Buddhism definition, not medical. The birth of being belonging to this or that order of being. Say what? The birth of beings belonging to this or that order of being. You just so happens to be Korean. You were born into the order of beings of Russian. Got some vodka? What are you guys are mixed.
Or mutts.
Mutts? Party mix.
European nuts.
But
Oh, no, I did 23andMe. We're Irish and English, Czech, Polish, German,
well, damn it, check yourselves.
and French. It's really white.
It's really white.
It's really white. It's disgustingly white.
It's actually an intelligent white. Anyone who is a mutt, who is mixed, according to my father, who is a professor he's a triple discipline professor. He's just a really smart, really intelligent, but he rendered that conclusion long ago. It wasn't a new conclusion. He knew that decades ago. So he has the art of reading people deep, non-judgmental. Is that it was like once I introduced, before becoming a monk, of course I had girlfriends, right? So I would be like, Dad, look, meet Jessica. And my dad would, he'd be like, but then he just had instant insight of that individual, just based on lines, eyes, geometric. God, he's like AI. And he's already got all the, so it's pretty cool, but very intelligent actions. That's why you're here. Buddhism attracts intelligent individuals. You can't be dumb and practice Buddhism, because look at the details. In details of realization, you know what I mean? In details of realization of logic, rationality. So the birth of beings belonging to this or that order of beings, their being born, their conception and springing into existence, the manifestation of groups of existence, the arising of sense activity. This is called birth. Being born. Okay, let's expand on it. Funny, we both listened to Ajahn Brahm, and most recently, 2 days ago, on Nibbida, on disenchantment. Nibbida in Pali. So he talks about the meditation on the body, right? Born into this body, born into being me, white, black, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Word.
Go Puerto Rico. And Ajahn Brahm says, look at the body for a second. Just conceptualize this body you're born and how much you have to take care of this body. What we feed it. Any vegans in here? Vegetarian in here? Yeah, vegetarian. Or at least try to be. You know, um, I've since moved to seafood based diet myself because, the ocean is quite clean versus any other environment. Then, of course, skin lotion. I don't use skin lotion. Just Asians are like this. And then there's the concept of dolphin skin, right? Everyone wants to use dermatology for dolphin skin look. He's worked in marine life. He gets a kick out of dolphins. Yeah, they all aspire to have dolphin skin. Hair products, conditioners, right? Deodorants, and I don't know. We made a jokes about us wearing colognes. If you walk by a monk and you smell cologne on him, he ain't a real monk. He's a little too attached to his body, and he trying to pick up somebody. Okay. Obviously, here, surprisingly, through my observations, he keeps the rules quite on point. We're not even using deodorant. Ew. Body odor, BO, no. But because he's afraid of the scent that could come off the deodorant and violating the precept. The man is on point with 227 rules. I mean, I'm just like, it's okay. I have to relax some of the rules. I'm like, oh God, wow, that's pretty extreme there. Poor obviously. What I appreciate John Brahm saying is that, yeah, you know what? It's a lot of burden into the care and maintenance of one's body. Well, don't come back. And he uttered exactly what I said previously. Don't come back. But strive to be an arahant, a fully enlightened being. You just got to let three things go: greed, anger, and ignorance of the Four Noble Truths. We're studying the Four Noble Truths. Don't be ignorant of it. Want to come back as a worm? Be ignorant of it. As I was speaking with Christina yesterday, Avani belongs to the Hindu tradition. And Avani, and then we talked about suicide, and it's like, you want to take your life? Okay, well, before you do, just know this. Just know that if you take your life, you come back as an amoeba in the ocean. You start off as an amoeba there, then slowly spring up, and hopefully somewhere down the line into the human realm. Can you imagine an amoeba? Can you imagine a worm? And the blessing to be human, of intelligence, of eyeballs, of ears, the qualities instilled into us, right? We don't really fully appreciate everything that has been what God has given you. Just what God has given you. To sit upright, to enjoy. To enjoy sleep, to enjoy food, to enjoy sex. Not as monks. Just to enjoy the things that life has to offer. The gifts of being human. So when we think about birth, let's think about that. Let's think about, and you might not be born as white in the next lifetime. Think about that. And you might not be born this particular intelligence. And to be hunted by prey in the food chain. Okay. What is decay? This is very important for you all to know. The decay of beings belonging to this or that order of being, they're getting aged, frail, gray, and wrinkled. They're failing of the failing of their vital force, the wearing out of the senses. This is called decay. That's very important to know. Very important to know, because eventually you will become gray, you will become frail, you will become wrinkled. It's exactly the wrinkled part that the Board of Dermatology focuses on. Right? I don't want wrinkles. Right? They're very smart, right? The dermatological research and everything. Now we got NI 14, NI something, the chemicals that they have target specific certain cells, regenerative cells. But think about it. Them ding dongs went to sacredtext.com, and the ding dong went over there and just focused on one word and made billions of dollars on one word. Did you ever think about that? Any of you ever thought about that? How they make money in the world? Wrinkled. I don't want bags around my eyes. I don't want it. Mind you all, what we study here, Buddhism teaches you not to become this. You can slow down the process. But isn't that what we're hoping for? Without me being here telling you all this, isn't that what everyone wanted anyways? To preserve your youth and to age gracefully. If we manage stress better, you can age gracefully. There will be less bags around one's eyes, less wrinkles, less stress. Because what does stress cause you to do? This right here. Look at my forehead. If I keep on doing this every single day, guess what? In another year, I'll have it permanently, no matter how much dermatology applications I'm going to put on it. So in Buddhism, yes, we teach you all to be happy, the art of happiness, truly. Okay. Then, of course, everyone fears death, right? I want to rewind this for a second. The failing of their vital force. The failing of their vital force. So as you are strong today, it will slowly diminish. So as you get older, you need to work out. More push-ups as you get older, okay? More yoga. More stretching, okay? Death. The parting and vanishing of beings out of this or that order of beings. Dying from the Russian order, dying from the Korean order, the vanishing of the Vietnamese order. Their destruction, disappearance, death, the completion of their life period. That's profound to write in a journal. How many people have you helped in the completion of your life period? How many smile have you bestowed within the completion of your life period? What have you taken upon the completion of your life period? Did you give more and take less? Or was it a total opposite? Dissolution of the groups of existence, the dissolving of the Russians, the dissolve of the Koreans, the dissolve of the Puerto Ricans, the dissolving of the Mutts. The Mutts gets their own little category over there. Dissolution of the groups of existence. The Buddha belonged to the Sakyan clan. And before he died, they decimated. I think there's only a few left. So think about that. Okay, we're going to stop there. No more. That's enough. That's enough to chase people away from Buddhism. Any questions so far? Any thoughts arose when this was read? Many. Any scary thoughts? Any reflective thoughts? Thoughts about one's life stage, journey, where you're at?
When you're reincarnated as a worm, you have no recollection of your past life, correct?
They're very ignorant. The animal realm is very ignorant. They eat, poop, sleep, and kill each other or kill others. You want to be very hard to crawl up that ladder and dependent of your karmic debts, the remaining balance of such debts and how you're going to repay it by and through the life of you as a worm. If you're a worm, don't eat other worms. If you're a worm, just eat plant-based diet. Chill out, leave other worms alone. Don't go over there and piss off people. Okay. I have a dog named Bailey, adorable, multi-poo. Bailey just wants to run up on these ducks at the lake and smell them. That's how they gather information, is smell. Bailey just wants to run up on them and just be like, "What's up, bro? I just want to check you out. I'm chilling." This is Jorge, one of the students here. Jorge, come in, grab a thingy and sit. The ducks, by and through their primitive programming, thinks that Bailey's trying to eat it, right? Holy cow, they fly for their life. They're like, "Oh my God, help." Ah! And Bailey's like, "I didn't want to smell you anyways." And comes back to me. Reflect on the animal realm, the study of the animal realm. We have humans that behave like animals. You've seen it. Just go on CNN. Just go on WTSP, Bay News 9. You've seen it, right? Police officer draws a gun, hands in the air, hands where I can see him. How hard is that to follow instructions? What we started off today was following deep listening skills and following instructions, right? If you don't follow my instructions, you're suffering, dude. I'm chilling. You're suffering. You can't pay people enough to take your suffering away. Simply put, right? Simply put. Hands where I can see them. How hard is that? That right there can save your life. The last shooting was in LA. The kid carjacked a man, runs with a fake gun, it's an airsoft gun out of all guns, runs away. They corner the kid. Every corner in front of the car is squad cars. Get out. Kid gets out, hands up. Cop yells, "Gun!" So all the other cops are like alerted to a gun. Hands, right? Kid changed his mind. I'm pretty sure he reached in and tried to like show them or something. I don't know. As soon as he did, 19 years old. As soon as he did that, a barrage of bullets focused on him. Dead. No, listen. Die. So we have humans that behave like animals, nonetheless, the animal realm itself.
I do have a thought about that, as far as the animal realm. Because when you're talking about like these reincarnating into these animals and don't have a prior recollection of their past lives, who's to say their life is worth in the dark if they don't have any knowledge? So consider if I had no understanding of being a human or having these senses or anything like that, if I were to be reincarnated into a dog, this is going to be an amazing life. Why would I want to stay away from that?
In Buddhism, they ask, after you die, what goes with you? Tremendous, brilliant scholars. And we're like, how do they figure this out? God, Lord knows how long ago. And we humans are so dumb right now, grasp law of gravity and, you know what I mean? And psychoanalytic theory, right? In Theravada Buddhism, Venerable Chidao asserts that in their previous lives, they meditated. In their previous lives, they reflected, just like the Buddha. The Buddha, okay. Let me see if I can tie this in a way that you can understand about rebirth. We don't use the word reincarnation because it implies a soul. Okay. Soul is an unchanging entity, permanent, unchanging entity. Rebirth means that it is unchanging, that it is changing. Rebirth means it is changing, opposite of soul. Okay. Um, says it all in here somewhere in my cheat sheet. Okay. You're always changing. Notice your emotions, your thoughts. You have 72,000 separate thoughts each day. Okay. Your mood changes. People call that bipolar. I call that normal. Okay. Try messing with Bailey. Bailey like joyful and lovey-dovey and like rubs on me, and then like you take her toy away from her, and she's like, ah. Would you diagnose the dog bipolar? Absolutely. DSM-5 diagnosis, ICD-10. But that's the nature of a dog. Well, nature of a human, same thing. You scratch my car, you're gonna get it. So when Buddha says sentient beings, sentient, we can't assert that they don't know. They may have some knowledge, if not all. I cannot tell you that fish doesn't know, but because we have evidence that they do know. Recently, a diver went down to vacuum the bottom of this tank. There's a lot of fish tanks around there. There's a lot of aquariums around there, public aquariums, humongous aquariums where sharks are just chilling. They jump down there and clean the tank, the glass, the tank, so the mermaids can swim around. And this fish was just like, "What's up, dude?" And swims over there to his leg. He's petting it, not fearful of the human that could catch it and eat it. Just wants to be petted. Just wants to chill. Let me chill with you. I just want some love. I need some love right now. We have fish that swims to the human. The human takes the fish, throws him 20 feet away. He swims right back to the human. We have donkeys that commit suicide because their babies died. Walks into the lake, commits suicide. We have whales that coordinate. We have dolphins that assist humans in distress and other mammals in distress. Have you all gathered this? Or is this news to y'all?
I've never heard of a committing suicide donkey.
It's all on there on Google. They have observed it on camera. Everything I say is empirical, evidence-based, and scientific. I can't sit here and pull stuff out of.
But is it because they are sad and depressed that this donkey is committing suicide, or is it because of some other, primal reason?
That would be a question for the investigators.
Yeah, and also, as far as that fish that wanted to play fetch with itself, it's really fun. Sounds great. But there could be some other reason.
But when you,
Sentient.
right, but when we look at, I like her already. See what I say? Intelligent, smart. I wasn't wrong, right? Scientist, yeah, PhD down the road. I can see it. When we look at the crowd, the masses of the crowd, and the population, we can say that the sample of the population of fish is typically afraid of humans. Why would this one come? It's one out of many.
Yeah.
So therefore, we cannot categorize all of the worms or ignorance, and that there'll be one in there that knows. Same thing with Bailey and other species of dogs too. That some are just like obnoxiously violent, obnoxiously aggressive, murderous. Just there was a police officer in New York that was dog sitting and got killed by the dog a week ago. Go ahead, put it. It's on YouTube. But police officer killed dog sitting while, like what? How? Then there's dogs that don't mess with other dogs. Then there's dogs that just chill. You know what I mean? So again, it's an investigation that I invite you to dig deep into. It's something you have to investigate. Even if I have all the data here, you still wouldn't believe me and should not believe me, because the Buddha have already gave his instructions that you are supposed to see it for yourself. I'm convinced. That's why I'm still in robes. My job is to prove the Buddha wrong as a scientist myself. Right? I haven't been able to do that, and I sit on the panel of Buddhist scholars. So is Ajahn Brahm, the same panel as he is, one of 40 in the world. So again, I would hope to strike you as the intelligent student that I'm an intelligent teacher that knows how to conduct scientific research and have thoroughly investigated through 22 years of data, of questioning, like how you question, the design of your questions, the depth of your questions, the suspiciousness of such claims in rebirths. Rebirth was my thing, actually. University of Virginia also have done research on rebirth on these kids as young as they could speak, or you can say as old as they could speak. As soon as they could speak, they have told researchers, I was killed. See that scar? Yeah, he hit me in the head, and I was buried right over there. In dozens of cases, researchers go and dig up the bones consistent with that age, consistent with. Were you aware of that research?
Mhm.
Okay, there you go. Yes. I haven't read the book. I just skimmed through it, right? So tell me, both of you, that's a weird thing on there. Tell me how this is important for you all, the rebirth. Or which is just out of curiosity, any of you.
I was curious.
Why is it important?
What does it mean to you? Why is it important? Out of all 84,000 teachings, I mean, so I asked this question because I don't care what I reborn into. Hopefully, with the amount of merits that I have accumulated and still going, the emotional karmic currencies that I have accumulated, emotional currencies, karmic currencies, not dollar bills, in hope for a favorable rebirth realm out of the 6 rebirth realms. I just hope I'm there and not suffer as a human. We analyze today the human realm. We also know about the animal realms. They're pretty rough, right? So I just wanted to know anyone else who have preoccupation with rebirth. A lot of people are stuck on this subject because they just want to know. They just like how the universe got started. Damn it, Big Bang. How? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, the rebirth, actually you clarified for me the difference between reincarnation and rebirth, so thank you. And as far as for me, it's not as important, but from a scientific perspective, I just look at it as like gas energy that dissipates when you die, and therefore, if there's other energy that you can't see at an area, and then the rebirth, the conditions of existence start to formulate, then wherever that physical body left, the energy that's left, and then catches on to something else, and then whatever energy existed there that's karmically tied goes with that rebirth. And then here you have this new human who has traces of the gaseous energy that exists between the new life energy that caught on, sort of like kind of netted itself onto this new life. And
Right.
I mean, there's traces of it in yourself, intuition. You know that there's something more than what you see.
Correct.
You can feel it. You know when you do something wrong, when you do something good. Intuitively, you know exactly what's going on. You can pose questions, it's important. But I think for rebirth, the most important thing for me is not to get caught in the cycle. And if I'm going to be here, live a life accordingly so that I do get a favorable rebirth cycle based on the gaseous energy or sort of like if you believe in electrons and neutrons, then you understand positive and how things can kind of draw themselves at a very mass scale, to be honest.
A lot of things in the Bible, a lot of things in the Nikayas where I scratch my head and I don't want to think about it. It's like, is enlightenment real? Is nirvana real? Is heaven and hell real? It's real right now. Since you all came in and gave me full focus, concentration, and attention, and hopefully in certain moments of that endeavor, you did not think about the past or the future. That was nirvana, direct experience of nirvana and enlightenment. You were fully enlightened in those moments. But the moment that you start thinking about the past or the future, you're back in hell, right? And if you have a man, or if you have women in here, okay, and if you go and you do the boyfriend girlfriend thing, then you're in heaven, right? Sense pleasures, right? Or you enjoy Godiva chocolate, and you're like, oh God, girl, let me tell you, right? Heaven, hell, and enlightenment, right? And people ponder about those three things, whether they're real. Where do I go? Right? Where do I go? You all have tasted nirvana through the sports of airsoft. So have you in hockey, and you at the beach. And that's what's important right now in this body at this time during this endeavor, the completion of one's life cycle. That's how we age gracefully. We learn the how to enjoy and have more moments of that bliss, more moment of that flow, and less moments of agitation, less bipolar, less of that. More roses and less thorns in your life. And because you're so young right now, can I have your ages? You can lie.
An 80.
80 spiritually. Yeah.
12 and a half.
So I would assume you all are under 25.
I'm 28.
Okay. Good.
I'm 23.
Okay. All right. So we the study of lifespan, human development. Anyone under 25 is pretty much schizophrenic. We know that, right? You can agree and concur. That's based on research by Dr. Nancy Cobb in her book Adolescence.
I wouldn't say like they have schizophrenia.
But they're prone to be. The tendencies of
you're saying
schizophrenia, because they're just absolute crazy. I mean, look, all of us, it's like, what? Mom tells you something, you throw stuff in the room, like Tasmanian devil in the room. We fall in love or whatever, something is said and we misconstrue that. It's like, it is what it is. It can't be what it ain't, but you constructed this story in your mind. There's something I reposted on Instagram, and it talks about one day you find someone that is obsessed with you, perhaps a demon, period. But it is what it is, period. And I'm like, what? It's crazy. And and then so past 25 is when your brain is fully developed and you're a bit more mature, you slow down a little bit. But through the study of lifespan is that you get happier as you age. The pressure to succeed tend to lessen. More coping skills being learned, right? And practiced. Hopefully you learn them and you practice them. So, in the enjoyment of the capacity for the enjoyment of life in one's life is where we are at right now in this clinical Buddhist room. And that's what I focus on. I wanted to minus the chanting part because Novice Lee is the only way he's going to practice the chants and stuff like that. But the primitive days of Theravada Buddhism, I'd like to move away from because everything has already been translated in English. We don't need Pali anymore. Everything has been translated by the best scholars at hand. Any issues, they will leave instructions for us to further our investigation. But it's already been translated. So now we take what is important and we practice it quickly, fast, so we get results of heaven, hell, and nirvana in this lifetime. We should have wise fear of hell, afterlife, because if, good life, good death. And if you're going to kill, your life will too be shortened. And you're also more prone to physical suffering, the Buddha said. So you woke up with back pains and a lot of it, that means in your last life you've killed. You have shortened the life of other people. Huh? Yeah, truly. Truly.
Oh, really hungry shark.
Then how are you supposed to rid yourself of past harms done to others and pains caused?
By giving more and taking less in this lifetime. You can start to mitigate that, like I described the karmic currency. But now that you have the knowledge and intelligence of this wisdom, you change in the next moment. The next thing you're about to say to people, be it nice, be it kindful, be it compassionate, kind, like Ajahn taught you. Uh, you open the door for people. You don't have to give money. You open the door for people. Okay. And pick up something. Someone drops something, And when you're at the checkout register, you see they're having a bad. Nobody wants to be cashiers. Nobody wants that kind of, Nobody wants to do this, to do that. You see it on their face. So you'll be like, you look at their name tag, you're like, Caitlin, hi, how's your day so far? When he's with me, I do that all the time, do I not? You see me create heaven in the short moments that I have with those humans. They have no idea who I am. No idea. Don't need to know. They just need to know that I'm a human being and I'm going to create heaven right now for you. Watch. Create magic. Magician. And then he's like, oh, he's got his back pains and stuff like that too. But he sees this unfold and he realized, wow, I should do more of that. Every store I go into, and if I die tomorrow, you just take the microphone. You're like, anyone have ever encountered this man called Chidao, named Chidao? If you didn't know he was a monk, and can you come forward with your stories to how he have inspired your life or changed your day in some way, shape, or form? I bet you can't find a cathedral in St. Pete that can fill up all those people. I bet you in my 20-something years. My whole life I've been doing it. Up for examination. And that because I know I still have karmic debts. I still got the same pain you got. So therefore I just keep giving. And that's all I know how to do is keep giving. Keep coming here and do things for free. Charge $0 for any and all services. It's one way to give. And then when I'm not here with you all, I'm with him. And he's left to tell the story. And Julius is left to tell the story of 4 years. You know what I mean? And hopefully you all believe that. Trust the teacher and trust the process. If a Ajahn Brahm is here, he would say the same thing. And that's beautiful. Because even if you don't get anything out of it, you still rejoice the memory at night. And the memory in your older ages, knowing that, yeah, we know when I was in my 20s and 30s, I volunteered at hospice. I spoke to Nancy. I spoke to Margaret. I shared time at ALS, assisted living facility. I went and volunteered in a prison or a jail, troubled women, felons and stuff like that. You just give back to society. So much joy in that. In hope that you would reduce your karmic debts, in hope for a favorable rebirth. Any other questions so far?
So there really is no such thing as a selfless act.
It is a selfless act. It is a selfless act in a sense. The intention, karma has to do with intention, willfully, knowingly, and intentionally. Right now, you're conscious and aware of all these little, small, gritty, tiny little things, right? You're paying attention to all these little, small, tiny little things, and it's a little intense and a little analytical and a little psychological. It is like him, no deodorant, little analytical, little psychological, a little too much, to the teeth of the letter of the law. Really good questions. I really like you guys. Come back next Sunday. Right? So stimulating psychologically. When I'm out there doing this stuff that I'm doing with people, to people, with people, to people. The last night we ate, and there's this server named Lee. His last name is Lee, and this guy's name is Lee. He looked mixed, mutt, like y'all. And I had a field day with him. And every time when they ask us how's the food, we always mess with people, but we always make them laugh We scare them a little bit and then we make them laugh. Yeah, talk about Buddhism, right? A little pain, a little pleasure, a little joy, a little sorrow, a little sadness, a little happiness. We give them a mixture of everything. And I don't even know that I'm doing it. I don't even realize that I'm creating heaven for people until I stop and think about it. That's why at the end of the night, I teach go home, review your day, do a life review at the end of the day. Live your life every day as is your last. And at the end of the night, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? How could I improve myself? How many people did I make smile today? How many did I make sad today? How many cuss words did I use today? Did I forgive and ask for forgiveness? The person who cut in front of me earlier, what did I thought in my mind? What kind of an unwholesome thought arose? Or did I replace that thought with maybe they're just trying to use the restroom or rush to the hospital to see their wife giving birth? So therefore, when we talk about selfless act and the motivation, some motivation is good, but it diminishes through time. Let's look at the word I want. Let's look at self-centered motivation. I don't want to suffer. It's a good want, good, valid, and appropriate want. I want to improve my karmic debts, appropriate, just, appropriate, rightful, and just. I want to experience more nirvanic mode. These are appropriate, positive, self-centered wants. Then it becomes automatic operating system where it diminishes and vanishes and is no longer so narcissistic, so self-centered. Now it has become a beautiful you. You're just a beautiful human being and you radiate wherever you go. You're now enlightened being, not in the nirvanic sense, but now you're just a different being other humans have ever seen before in their life. My God, look how kind you are. My God, look how graceful you are walking into this room with the smile, the eyes of non-judgment, the movement of a goddess. Sit and relaxed. You command relaxation in a room, command peace in a room, bestow and shower peace, grace, tranquility wherever you carry yourself. Versus always thinking about those who do that, I hopefully through time it resolves. It's black and white. It's like another analogy I would give is 11:44. Uh-oh. 1:15. Very good. Reflect for a second. Okay? So I'm doing this Ohio thing. Let us meet at Dock Ford around that same time. And as you are 15 minutes away, please text me immediately so I can head down that way. These guys, they've heard it before. But so the analogy here, another analogy easy to, so it's like the first time driver, right? So you guys are first time drivers in Buddhism. The first time driver in traffic, they're like, oh my God, so I have to turn on the blinker 50 feet before I make a turn, and I have to stop behind the white line. And they're just really stressful. And they're like trying not to break the law because it's not good to break the law, any law. But in their mind, they think it's like a capital life felony if they don't do it, right? Now, to the experienced driver, they know what to do. My horn. See, create hell in an instant. So in Buddhism, as you progress along the path, you realize that I'm teaching you and conditioning you to be that experienced driver where you're just cruising in California, looking at the beach. You know what I mean? You know exactly what to do. That we teach you the how to deal with depression and anxiety, and you will know how to do it. Switch modes immediately. I'm teaching you what therapists are being trained. I'm teaching you to be your own doctor. Those who are not their own doctor is a fool. So if you go home and you don't study to be your own doctor, you are a fool to no forgivable end. Seriously. You know what I mean? That's why those are part of my collection of books back there. They all have 90% of it has to do with health. So yeah, so I teach you all how to do that through time. And you no longer think about all of the pertinent traffic laws because you've been driving for so long that you are now the good driver, like it says on your driver license, a good driver. You know what I mean? One who just chills, one who never pisses people off, one who doesn't piss herself off. Two things we do to ourselves. You know what I mean? We harm ourselves and we harm other people, directly or indirectly, whatever. You know what I mean? And when you're aware and that awareness becomes automatic, it's nirvana all around. And you know, if you die and if you don't give, if you die, the least they can say at your funeral is, you know, she was one of the most graceful driver we've ever seen in Florida. You will never see her roll through a stop sign. You will never see her honk her horn. She's never used her horn. That horn is a virgin. You know what I mean? That horn was left untouched. You know? You get what I'm saying? Ding, light bulb, right? So, you know, so, you know, the introduction to Buddhism, which is what I gave today, is that. And when you look through the cheat sheets, or if you just go the basic in Buddhism and you look at some of the things that is very, very analytical, very, very psychological, you realize that you like Ajahn Brahm because of his simplicity. And I try to be more simple than Ajahn Brahm, or if not equal to, because I live my life very simple. You look at my life as anything but my professional life as an interpreter is anything, serving all areas of law and medicine is anything but simple. The technicalities in words, the technicalities in vocabularies with judges and lawyers and doctors have to be precise, or else they sue me, sue us, not y'all, but you know, who I work for and stuff like that, my bosses. So every word that I expound has to be true, correct, on point. And I grew up like pessimistic about these things. Like, oh my God, I have to turn the blinkers 50 feet before the stop sign, you know? So I dedicated my life towards simplicity, simple, explaining in a way where they can know how to live, because I first had to explain it to myself how to live this particular way. Let us go into guided meditation at this point. Okay. Readjust your back and move a little bit. You don't have to look like me, because I sometimes don't hold a very nice posture. Back straight, shoulders relaxed. Get in your favorite meditation position, your right hand over your left hand, or you don't have to do nothing with the hands. We're just chilling, folks. We are just chilling. Take your, as your shoulders are relaxed, you bring a small smile to your face. Small smile to your face, because meditators are happy people. Buddhist practitioners are happy people. Let us take 3 deep breaths. mind to stillness, bringing our mind calming the mind, realizing that we are here, we are safe, we are sound. We're here in unity, in togetherness as a group, the commonality of understanding of the preciousness of the gifts of the teachings that we have received today. How grateful we are to be here. Let us bring awareness to the rising and falling of our abdomen. As we breathe to our own pace, by our own pace. To feel the sensation of the wind, of the fans in this room. We can bring our attention to just the sound of the fans alone as a one-pointed concentration technique. How you are here in the present moment. How you utilize your senses to hone in what is happening in this room. Let us take 2 more deep breaths. Let us move to the analyzing the temperature of the air in this room through our nostrils. We now place attention and focus at the nostrils to ask ourselves, what is the temperature like right now? Is it 70 degrees? Is it 72? Is it 68? Be the scientist you are in analyzing the temperature of the room. Let us bring our attention to loving kindness meditation with music. Let us radiate that loving kindness to ourselves. May I be well. May I be happy. I be happy and healthy. May all of my wishes be fulfilled. May you be well. May you be happy. May you always be healthy. May you be free from mental suffering. May you be free from physical suffering. May all your wishes be fulfilled. Let us be mindful of our posture, back straight, shoulders relaxed. May all beings in the world be happy. May all beings in the world be healthy. May all beings be free from mental suffering. May all beings be free from physical suffering. May their lives be at ease. Let us take 2 deep breaths. Breathing in, we are at peace. Breathing out, we let everything go. Breathing in, we are at peace. Breathing out, we let everything go. At this time, I'd like everyone to repeat after me. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May I be at ease and comfort. May my family be well. May my family be happy. May my family be healthy. May they be free from mental suffering.
May they be free from mental suffering.
May they be free from physical suffering.
May they be free from physical suffering.
May all beings in the world be well.
May all beings in the world be well.
May all beings in the world be happy.
May all beings in the world be happy.
May all beings in the world be free from mental afflictions.
May all beings in the world be free from mental afflictions.
May the world come to peace.
May the world come to peace.
May they all be free from physical suffering.
May they all be free from physical suffering.
May they all keep their hearts open.
May their hearts open.
May all of their wishes be fulfilled.
May all their wishes be fulfilled.
Let us arise from our meditation. Let us relax our concentration, slowly rising back to the sound of my voice. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, that blissed out. Any difficulties during that meditation for anyone?
My feet fell asleep.
You fell asleep?
No, my feet fell asleep.
Did you have, yes.
I either typically think too much or fall asleep.
Mm.
These are my issues during meditation.
Mm-hmm. Good. These are honest reports. And that's why the music came loud, so that it arrests your attention. It's meant to grab your attention and pull you right into it, so you have no choice but to focus on the music and my voice. And as we were cycling, when you look at the way how I do guided meditation, it is not to give your mind a chance to start wandering, to be engaging, to be on point, one-pointed concentration techniques, to focus on the breath, the arising of the breath, the deflation of the abdomen, the air through your nostrils. There's so much to do with the breath. These are just baby instructions, but if you look at the Anapanasati Sutta, It gives noticing when the breath is short, when it's long. You have to know these things. And Buddha is one which knows. So you have to know everything that is unfolding within just the breathing alone. People don't realize that until they're going to die. When you're going to die, all your senses start to fade, and all you have left is your breathing. So you realize that, okay, one breath, two breaths, okay, and then 30 breaths later, and you realize this is going to be your last breath, because you realize all the vital organs and function is now going to cease. And don't let it get to that point. You have to be mindful. Again, you want to be a saint, let go of greed, anger, and ignorance. So you have to take those 30 last breaths to let go. Hopefully, every 10 breaths, you let go of greed, anger, and finally ignorance towards the end. We have previous arahants in Thailand, Ajahn Mun, Ajahn Lee, who passed away, and they knew when they were going to pass away. And it was beautiful to time your own death. That's amazing. And again, I assert, and from Vajrayana teachings, that when you are very in tune with your breath, you know when you're going to go. And you also know when certain things is wrong within your body. So it's like an EKG. The breath is indicative, similar to an EKG, to know when one's functioning well, happy, and healthy, or when there's issues, physiological responses of the breathings. But so the more difficulty you experience in meditation and samples of these meditations, the more you realize, oh, wow, I haven't been practicing. And it compels you to 2 minutes a day, and then 4 minutes a day, and then 5, and then gradually increase to where you can feel and see that peace, direct evidence. Hello. Anh chị đến rồi hả? Tại vì Hải tưởng đâu nhắn tin 12 giờ rưỡi hay gì nữa, để coi lại cái tin nhắn. 12 giờ. Anh chị chờ chút xíu nhé. Anh chị chờ chút xíu nhé. So you guys take some mental notes, what you have observed today, and if you missed any part of it, because you guys are new, and these are introductory to the Four Noble Truths. We only gotten like 1/10 of it, but I try. I'm more gentle now with teaching the Four Noble Truths versus cycling through them or going even further into sub elements of it, so that students can take it like sprinkles of salt and not just dump the whole pound in. Little sprinkles. Make your cupcakes. And then gather questions, more questions as you go, on resources, buddhanet.net, accesstoinsight.org. There's a lot of websites into intros to Buddhism, and pretty much every Sundays you come and you hear the teachings, see what makes sense to you, what it applies to you, how you can use it towards everyday life. And again, I meet students where they're at, and then as you get more comfortable, you will share more about your days, your week, and I meet the student clinically where they're at in their week, in their days, so that we start resolving that tangle in one's life. Everyone has a tangle in one's life, including me. So the US system of working, make sure that you have anxiety. Trust me, you will never be exempt from anxiety. So therefore, everyone has that tangle of, taking care of one's body, bills, and so on and so on. So with the forthcoming days, Novice Lee has a new endeavor to embrace soon, to keep Blissful Beginnings open, combined through his work and his sacrifice for the monkhood and to serve the people. And it is a unique requirement from a teacher now observed through the entire world to see a teacher lay down his duties, obligations, and instructions for a young novice living in the United States. And so it's an ingenious ways to make sure these services go, that the novice does not get too comfortable on the weekend, and to progress even faster, a more accelerated rate for the novice to graduate his 5 years apprenticeship to become a bhikkhu. And so you all can embrace that new challenge for novice Lee and embrace and look forward to what he's going to bring to the table, his skills, his talent, everything God has blessed him to decipher and to dilute the density of the Dhamma for all of us to hear, understand, absorb, and practice. It is one hell of an instruction. As with all Theravada monks, 84,000 teachings. So good luck. Any last questions as we wrap up class? Yes, go ahead.
How to sit, like, during the meditation, how to sit, to do exercise.
So wherever you like, however you like. This in this position where it's straight, the body is erected, the back is erected, back straight, shoulders relaxed, relaxing all the muscles on your face are typical instructions. There are people who can't sit lotus, people sit like Julius. There are people who have weight issues, so it's okay. Some people lie down, you will definitely fall asleep because you can't keep the mind stimulated. In this, you have to keep everything erected, straightforward, stick. So you have to really, be in tune. Again, when you're sitting here, when a monk is sitting, there's always active stuff going on, especially with the breath, rising and falling of the abdomen, tracking his thoughts, the river of thoughts, not to attach onto the thoughts. Expert pedestrian, observing traffic. Don't try to look at who's driving the vehicle, Nancy, Susan, Karen. We just observe traffic of thoughts. So there's a lot to do, but slowly you all learn the methods to do that. And these are tools in your toolboxes. But in regards to the posture, as long as you are aware, alert, awake, and breathing normally, you're good. But if it falls asleep, move. I don't expect you guys to sit like me for a long time. I've been doing this for 20-something years, 22 years of meditation. So, just be free, be you. Okay, any last questions? Let us wrap it up with the blessing verse. And then there will be the alms. Is the black alms bowl there? Is the black alms bowl there?
I don't. Oh yes, it's on top.
All right. If you could kindly get the red envelopes over to there on the second shelf here real quick. For all those who like to make contributions and donations, who can, make sure your bills are sufficed before you make donations. It is not a requirement. Monks survive on donations, as you're aware, in Thailand. So my requirement for you all is only when your bills is satisfied, then make donations. But even if you have change in your pocket, it is the act and intent of giving that you will improve your karma and karmic debts. Jorge brought a humongous watermelon last week. So thank you for that. That gave us a laugh that lasted a whole week. Yatha parivaha pura pari purenti sakaran Evamewa ito dinang patanang upakapati ichitang patitang tamhang kipamewa samechatu sappe purentu sankapa chando anyaraso yatha manijo tiraso yatha Sapi diyo vivan chantu saparo goa vina satuma te bhavan tuan tarayo suki diha yuko bhava apiwan danasile Sanicang buddha pajanino chattaro dhamma vatanti ayuwanno Sokhang palang bhavatu sapamangkalang rakantu sapadevata sapabuddha nuvaven sada soti bhavantu te Bhavatu sapamangkalang rakantu sapadevata sapathamma nuvaven sada soti bhavantu te Pavata Sapa Mangalang Rakantu Sapandi Vatasa Pasangkanu Vena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. May you reflect on the teachings today, the precious gift of the Dhamma. May you apply it to your life. May you find comfort in the teachings. May you keep your heart open so that love can always find its way in. May you be good to yourself and good to other people. May you reflect on the teachings on karma and giving and generosity. After today, may you know what it's like to make other people happy. May you know what it's like to meditate. May you know how to focus on your breath, your breathing, the abdomen, the in-breath, the out-breath. May you have a new relationship with your breath. May you go forth in peace, and hopefully we see you back next Sunday. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you all for joining across America, and until the next time. So for lunch, anyone would like to join us for lunch near my dad's office? It will be a snack for me because I have to meet with the Ohio case at 1:30 while teaching a driving class over there. Oh my God, please don't bring in another watermelon. No, obviously it took an hour to try to cut one.
It's just a good thing that watermelon's red, so you can't see the blood.
Allegra. Link TR. I'm gonna send you the link tree that has the link to all of my YouTube and all that, so you all can be curious into the teachings, who I am, what I do. Yes, the praise and blame that comes with the social media monk. So.
I'm not on any social media.
Oh, it's okay. But anyways, yeah, that's just actually that's the first recommendation when people are like, how do you meditate? Blah blah blah. I said, number one, cut back on the drama, and part of the drama is social media, actually.
Yeah.
So.
I hate it. I've never had a tweeter.
Oh yeah. Tweet, but use it for educational purposes, which is the link I gave you, and you can pass it along to her. Yeah. So I see you guys hopefully next Sunday if you're not busy.
We'll be up and wait, that's next Sunday's.
Next Sunday will be about my baby nephew's first birthday,
Sure.
but I will be here the next Sunday.
You can tune in to YouTube. I sent you the link. The link's got
Is it
everything
live?
live. Yeah. And then periodically throughout the week, me and Novice Lee sit and talk about what's going on in the world too. So it's good. It's the absorption of Dhamma. It's no different than any other priest that remind people to forgive and ask for forgiveness on Sundays at church. So we do the same thing as monks. It's our duty. But thank you for blessing us with your presence here in class. And let's grab a group picture before we have to go. And old age, decay, disease.
Yeah.
Feel like a dinosaur. Jorge, you can grab a picture for all of us.
Yes.
Let us move over here in this session area right here. And scoot over a little bit on the right. Actually, 2 months will be in the middle, and you guys on our sides. Yeah, that'll be a lot better. Yeah, here on here. You guys come over here.
Hi.
Okay, everyone, put your hands together. It's a sign of peace. Thank you. There you go. And a big smile. Okay, and let me see here. Oh my goodness, small, medium, and large. Look at that. See, the guy in the orange is the shortest. And Julius, if you could replace Jorge, who is going to be the largest guy in here, longest and tallest. There you go. Play basketball with this guy. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
If you don't want me to publish this, let me know if you're on the witness protection program. So we're gonna head to my dad's office so we can eat right next door because the Ohio case at 1:30. Anyone is welcome to join us at that time. But until then, we'll see you guys. I have a very long day today, so.
Melina? Melina, nice to meet you.